What's up, Dual Coast family? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Dual Coast Podcast. Exciting. I'm your host, Dan Skoga, joined by my West Coast co-host, Russ Rogers, joined by a very special guest this morning, straight out of Pittsburgh, Ish Lopez. Ish, thank you so much for being with us, man.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on, Ish. This is amazing.
We
just connected like a month ago.
Yeah, that's how I work. I work fast.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Great having you on the show. And you got your own show, and you're in your own studio. And we are going to be on your show in less than a month.
Yeah.
Yes,
in Pittsburgh.
I'm excited for that.
It's going to be awesome,
man. Flip the tables a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to be sitting right there in Pittsburgh as soon as Dan buys his ticket.
That's right.
And then we'll be ready to rock and roll.
Just waiting on Dan. No pressure or anything, but
sorry, boys.
Hey, the studio's open all day, so
that's fine. It. Hey, are you going to go to the draft at all? Are you interested in that? Because it's going to be right there in your hometown of Pittsburgh, right there. Hometown of the last 10 years.
I will be at the draft, either work or play. I will be at the draft. I'm a local law enforcement officer, so they've all hands on deck. I'm also part of the SWAT team, so I'll be there in one form or fashion.
Yeah. Depends on what color you're going to be wearing that day.
Yeah. The draft is going to be insane. They've built so many new, like Pittsburgh. It's a beautiful city, don't get me wrong, but the amount of work they've done to prepare for the draft, and then they say it's going to be between 500,000 and a million additional people on a Sunday. On a Sunday Pittsburgh Steelers game, it's already gridlocked. So I'm interested to see how the influx of people coming in, how that's going to do, how people are going to get there, how things are going to move. So,
where is it going to be held at?
I have no clue. Somewhere downtown, somewhere downtown, as they say here, downtown.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Dan.
Where is it that we stay? We stay by the park. Is that considered downtown?
If you're by the park, yeah. Anything. So Pittsburgh's weird, right? They have North Side and North Shore. When things are going good, it's North Shore. When things are going bad, they call it North Side. But it's all downtown.
Oh, that's awesome.
Everything's broken up. You have North Side, you have Lawrenceville, the Strip District, but it's all connected.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, we did a podcast last year. It was in Pittsburgh and jumped down to Miami, came back to Pittsburgh, and then we had a podcast. And I was on the top of the Joinery Hotel in downtown, up on this rooftop, and it was absolutely beautiful. The rooms weren't great, but the view outside was fantastic.
You did the podcast on the rooftop?
Yeah, I was there. Sweet. He was. Yeah,
he did. Yeah. I was back home at that point, but yeah, he did the podcast from the rooftop. It was pretty cool.
That's pretty sweet.
We were. Have you been a part of any of the marathons, whether work or fun?
I'm a big boy, so no.
I don't jog.
I support. I download the app. I track my friends who run it. But me personally, I avoid it like the plague.
Oh, the pounding of the joints, man.
It's not fun. Which is interesting enough because I'm creating this challenge. So my podcast is called The Relentless Project. It's all about discipline and inspiring those to kind of own their lives and take accountability. And I was this morning at the gym. I'm coming up with a challenge, and it's like do one thing fitness related you don't normally do.
Right.
So for me, unfortunately, it's going to be running. As much as I dread it. So maybe I get into a marathon. We'll see.
I was actually going to ask that question too. That's actually really fun.
What?
Now, how often do you have to do something new? Are you looking at doing it for the year? Are you looking at it for a day, for a week? What is the plan?
So habits are usually established between 60 and 90 days. Right. So my goal with everything is just to help kind of people push into new arenas, push into their whether it's faith, family, friends, or fitness. These are the pillars of my life. And I think if people own these pillars and push in these pillars, everything in their life begins to change. So I'm thinking between 60 and 90 days. I'm trying to find a sweet spot. Andy Frisella started the 75 Hard Challenge, which is an amazing challenge. I've done it multiple times. And you learn a lot about yourself and you learn a lot about your capabilities. So definitely inspired by Andy and his approach to that. But I'm trying to add in things that that have helped me develop as a person and those around me, and just trying to broaden that horizon and hopefully inspire and help others. So between 60 and 90 days, I'm still a work in progress.
Nice. So I'm going to come back to that, but tell me the most difficult challenge of the 75 hard for you.
The most difficult part of the 75 hard was at the time I did was the diet. You know, I always prided myself in I train 2 hours a day at the gym. I do jujitsu for an hour to 2 hours. I can eat what I want. I ignored the entire thought process of good fuel, right? Like in my mind, I'm like, I can eat whatever I want because I look all right. But the whole point of eating good, you know, it helps your mind. It helps with clarity, inflammation. There's so many other things that eating healthy does for you rather than just lose weight, right? In my mind, I didn't need to lose weight. I wanted to bulk up. I like being bigger. I like, you know, so the diet part, honing in the diet was probably the toughest for me. And then reading. I'm not a big reader. I listen to audiobooks, podcasts. Either I have to watch it or I have to listen to it. I can't sit and just do one thing. I have to do like multiple things at once. So reading, between the diet and the reading, those were the hardest that I had to constantly start over the 75 hard. It was more like 150 hard for me because I had to restart so many times.
And running. Let's add running to that.
the running, if I can shut it off and do it, not for long distances, you know, but it's boring. So if I have like something in my ear or I'm watching something, like I can tune out for, you know, it takes me about maybe 9-10 minutes to run a mile. I can tune out for 9-10 minutes. But like a marathon, you're doing that for 26 points. There's no way. There's not enough Netflix or a motivational podcast to get me through that.
You can't disassociate long enough for that.
I can't. No.
Hey, you know what, Pittsburgh? We were at the kids marathon last year, which you're going to be a part of with us for a few hours, which is going to be fantastic. We'll get you. We'll do a little jogging segment for like 100 yards. So we'll get a clip of you running, you know, maybe across the bridge or something, and that'll be cool. But there was a guy.
I'll use that forever.
There was a guy that he was the oldest. The real marathon is the next day, 26 point whatever miles it is. And I believe he was in his 70s or 80s, something like that. And he ran the 26-mile marathon. And he was the last guy, the last finisher, not guy, but the last finisher of the day. And it was like dark when he came in, but there were still fans that were there just cheering him on. There's a whole video of it from from the marathon, from the P3R. It was absolutely amazing that this guy his will to do this. Yeah,
that's
he finished,
insane.
Right? He finished.
That's wild. That's a feat. Honestly. Like running a marathon is not something you just decide to do one day and show up and do. Like it requires effort, intentionality. Like you're constantly battling your demons to get to that end goal.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. And then at that age, it's impressive.
Yeah, exactly. We have a mutual friend, Craig Siegel, that he's a runner and he runs a New York Marathon every year. And you know, it's ups and downs even for a runner, right? To run the 26 miles. Because he says, you know, sometimes I hit a wall at 5 miles. Yeah. Like, and the last 21 miles are like just like a barrier to try to overcome the body and the mind. Yeah. And then sometimes I can just breeze through it. It just, your body, you know, is going through whatever it's going through. And then your mind has to really click in, right?
You ever heard of the principle of the next mile?
I don't think I have.
So it's essentially instead of a big goal, right? When you look at it, we'll look at it as a marathon, 26 miles. If you're sitting there, how am I going to run 26 miles? It's daunting. A lot of people will not even start because of how crazy it sounds. But if you just think, I got to run 1 mile. And then once you pass that mile, just realign your goals. I just got to make it 1 more mile. 1 more mile. That is the perfect place to test that principle and that theory. I apply it in, like, let's say you're trying to get to the gym, right? You want to lose 100 pounds. Yeah. You just got to make it to the next gym session. Right. Mm-hmm. And then after that, okay, I just got to make it to 1 more gym session. So that's the principle of the next mile. You make things in smaller, you dissect things in smaller goals that lead to this big daunting goal of 26 miles or whatever it is. So maybe that's a good place for me to test the principle the next mile.
Yeah.
In a quarter marathon, because I ain't doing the whole. You thought?
Hey, we'll get you on the kids marathon, which is a mile, and we'll go the principle of the quarter mile.
I will smoke those kids.
Believe it or not, there's some kids who are in some serious shape.
I would be at last, and then I'll use the excuse of I can't beat a kid. Like, they're kids, you know. So I could get by on that one.
That's it. That's it.
We're gonna have Ish at the starting line, right in the very front in Group A, man.
Yeah, that's it, man.
That's my starting position.
Quick twitch right there.
Quick twitch.
I can go A to B pretty fast, but as long as B isn't too far away.
Yeah. So, Ish, you've been in Pittsburgh, I think you said 10 years, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What do you love about Pittsburgh?
Honestly, the thing that I love the most about Pittsburgh is the people, the blue collar grit, hard work, like just get things done mentality of the people here in Pittsburgh. It's something I've always resonated with, especially the more I aged and matured. But then coming here and seeing like that's just how people are wired.
Yeah.
Like I have no excuses because like especially when I talk to these fighters, like they'll work construction all day. They'll go to the gym and fight and spar and lift. They'll run and then they'll go home to their wives or their husbands and then allocate time to family. And then they wake up the next day and do it with a smile. And it's like, how?
Ooh.
You know, when you talk to them, they're just like, what do you mean how? It's just, it is what it is. This is what I got to do.
Yeah.
Like that mentality is what I love the most. And the other is like, it's the biggest, smallest city.
Yeah, it is.
It's big city vibes, but everyone's connected. Everyone knows each other. Like it's also interesting. I came here I'm from Erie, which is a very small city. And you come to Pittsburgh, you're like, wow, big city. But it's segmented, right? Like Lawrenceville, you have the Strip District, you have obviously downtown, you have Little Italy, all these little neighborhoods within Pittsburgh. And when you go there, the people who grew up there stay there. Like everyone from Lawrenceville, like grew up in Lawrenceville, stayed in Lawrenceville, watched it bloom. There's also Bloomfield, that's another one. And like they never moved to like another part of Pittsburgh. That's what blows my mind. I'm like, you know everyone in Lawrenceville, but then you go to like downtown and you're lost. And it just blows my mind because it's all connected. It's one street over.
Yeah. Oh,
but
man.
Definitely the blue collar mentality.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I was when I went there a little over about a year and a half ago for the very first time. I was blown away because you come over this little hill and then you see the bridge, you see downtown. It's absolutely beautiful, and I've seen it at different seasons. I've seen it at -7 degrees. I've seen it at the fall when all the colors are changing. You know, I've seen it all. The river, I've seen ice over it. I've seen it flowing, blue skies. I mean, it's a beautiful city, and you can walk it in no time. Like you can go from the point to the Strip. You can walk it.
You blink, you missed the downtown.
Yeah.
But they just redid the lights on the bridges too. So like especially if you're coming from the airport or you're coming down 79 and like there's this beautiful curve. I would always drive from Erie, which coming south, there's this curve and then there's this big bridge above you. And then as you keep navigating 79, the city just like emerges in the back, and it just seeing that, I'm like, it's such a beautiful city. And then you're in it and the bridges are lit up and there's life in the city and everyone's out and with their families and walking and the points, the fountains going. It's a beautiful city. I love Pittsburgh. I hate the cold, but I do love Pittsburgh, and it's hard to leave because it's such a beautiful big city in a small facet.
Right. Well, we were blown away, Dan, when we got to the starting line. We got there before actually mayhem erupted, right? And when I say mayhem, it was orchestrated mayhem. But it was like, we get there by PNC Park in the parking lot across the street. And, there's a lot of people, and then all of a sudden, man, it just filled up. And it was just a sea of little kids. I mean, little kids and parents. And we're going around interviewing. That whole wave takes off, and then a whole new wave comes in, And it was just like this, we were there for probably about an hour, and then we, ditched over to the point and where everybody's finishing, right? And so everybody's coming in, and it's just 20,000 people converging on the point park there. It's amazing. So when you talk about families, like these families, like are tight knit, they love it. They love outdoors and they love activity, and I love that about Pittsburgh, and just learning it for a short period of time.
I love driving. I do a lot of driving, and one thing I envy is I'm going through downtown and I see like the couples or the families and they're walking the point. Like I'm on the bridge and I'm looking out and I'm seeing this and I'm like, that is so cool. Like I need to be more intentional with doing that. I never get around to it, but it's like I envy that, right? These families who drive downtown, park their cars, and they just walk together. They explore nature. They touch grass. Like that's something we don't see anymore. And the point's the perfect place. Like Pittsburgh's a mini concrete jungle, but now you have the point with grass and the fountain. You're overlooking the rivers. Like you can see the stadium from across the point.
Yeah.
Like such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it's something I feel like if you're in Pittsburgh, you need to do. And then we have Mount Washington. You can walk Mount Washington, look over the entire city. Like it's something that me personally, I'm guilty of it. Need to do more. Enjoy what's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one place that I went to. Have you been to the Bicycle Museum? It's past the football stadium, and it's like
I didn't even know there was a museum for bicycles.
They have the most bicycles. You have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to take the kids to the Bicycle Museum. They have like the most bicycles of any museum, period. And they've got.
I didn't even know there was a market for museums and bicycles.
I don't think so either.
Look, I'm learning.
See, I'm glad you came on the show.
Ish, so I'm all about learning. Went to Russ.
Yeah. Let me tell you about Pittsburgh.
I have to check that out. I'm gonna have to. Wait, have you heard about the Bicycle Museum? Like people are gonna look at me like I'm crazy.
Oh, you gotta go. You have to go. It'll blow your mind.
It'll be the first thing I Google.
Yeah, it will blow your mind. I mean, that doesn't have anything to. Well, it does have to do with health and wellness, because if you get on a bike and ride it, that's good for you. But this museum is just like, you got to take your time and go through it, because I have thousands of bicycles. Yeah,
wow. That's insane. Yeah,
from way back, like 1900s, early.
My people's bicycle in there, the low riders with the.
There you go.
Oh, they got everything.
Air suspension.
Man, they've got the old Schwinn's. They got the little, gear shift on the front. They've got the who was it? The Beatles. They have the Beatles bicycle there, which has got like 4 seats on it, or 4 or 5, something like that. 4, right? It's just unbelievable. Elvis Presley, you got a bike from him. It's just, it'll blow your mind.
So you're saying I didn't make it until I get a bike? Yes. I will have a bike in that museum. The Relentless bike.
If you're looking for a podcast guest, you can maybe have the curator of the Bicycle Museum on.
Yeah.
You know the questions I will have for that person? Like, what inspired you to start this, first of all? And let's talk about, I love the behind the scenes of businesses, right? That's one thing. How do you monetize this?
No idea.
Can we talk? Give me some advice I can use for the podcast.
You get people like Russ Rogers inside.
That's it, man. Yeah. Promoting it right here on Dual Coast.
Yeah, sponsored by. No. That's interesting. I'll have to Google that.
Yeah.
Ish. So, you always put yourself in a lot of uncomfortable situations. You're in law enforcement, you're in jiu-jitsu, you have the podcast, things like that. What's something that's going through your head when you're putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation, and how do you override any hesitation?
So I think I have the thoughts that everyone else has. How am I going to do this? What's the next step? How do I start? That how question is, I think, what differentiates people getting started and people who never started. Some people ask how am I going to lose weight, or how do I get to the gym? And they're asking of good intention. Other people ask the same exact question, looking for a way out. So my mindset is always like, am I gonna have to barrel through, or are there avenues that someone has already established that I can explore?
I love that.
So I guess the best way that I do it is just going in with, this will be done. It will be done, and it will be done as soon as possible. And then just finding out probably the best way to go about it. So I like to ask people, like, for example, skydiving. That's something that was very daunting to me. And a good buddy of mine, Mike Fisher, got to shout him out because he's talk about one of the most disciplined individuals I know. He woke up one day, decided to run the Ironman, moved to Texas where the Ironman was going to be for 3 months to just train.
Wow.
Like that's a perfect example of you just have to do it. And then while he's training for the Ironman, decides to get his skydiving license. So that's what kind of influenced me, right? So he's hitting me up. Oh, you got to do it. You got to do it. I fly down there to support him for the Ironman, and here comes the task. Right, we're driving to go skydiving. And fun fact, the scariest part of skydiving is the drive there and the flight up. It's not the jump. It's the fears we we tell ourselves. It's the situations and scenarios we create in our head. It's all the questions we have. What's it going to be like? Is the worst case going to happen? It's like the worst part of skydiving and the worst part of anything new, honestly, is our thoughts.
Yeah.
Because we've never been there, so we create the worst case scenarios that will unfortunately let a lot of people never explore something new or never try something new.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
So, you get there and, I ask myself, like, man, what's it going to be like, And I'm asking because I want to get it done, not because I'm looking for an excuse. So if you find yourself already looking for a way out, you're probably not going to succeed in whatever it is you're trying to do. If you're asking the question to find a way through, that's a good start. So he tells me it's not, and of course they tell you, this is how he describes it. It's like nothing you've ever experienced. I know that. I obviously I need something tangible to like help me get through. It's freeing. You're not really helping me here. So at that moment, you go through the ground school and they're telling you like, all right, when you're up there, you're gonna have to find your flight pattern. You're gonna have to do this. And I'm like, man, this is insane. Like, I'm not a pilot. We're talking flight patterns. We're talking with the wind, out the wind. If your chute doesn't open, this is what you need to do. I'm like, this is a perfect class to give someone who's
that's free
hesitating, right? Yeah. But in all this, I'm like, okay, if my chute doesn't open, I have a reserve. Like, I'm going through this so I can have options in the air. Yeah. And then comes, you go through all this, and then comes the moment, right? Like the first jump, you have to have a tandem. So you're attached to an instructor, right? Which is a perfect metaphor for life, right? You're on this plane and you're climbing up and it's loud and there's like 10 people behind you and 10 people in front of you, right? The people who are jumping at a lower altitude go before you. The people who are jumping at a higher altitude go after you. So you're in the middle and the instructor's like, hey, you good? Yeah. All right. I'll ask you again in a couple minutes. So he's checking in with you. You get to this point, door opens, everyone jumps out, door closes, you're left, you're coming up, and now you're like, if I don't jump, the people behind me can't jump. Yeah. So like, I have to jump. But what if, right? We create these scenarios. It gets to the point where the door opens, he kind of crawls you to the end, your feet are at the end, and you're staring at the curvature of the earth. That's how high you are. And then when I jumped, it was 14,000 feet. And he's like, are you ready? And they won't push you. They won't force you. They won't. If you say no, you sit back into the safety of the airplane, you land, your life goes on. No one makes fun of you because you're jumping out of an airplane, right? Minus your friends. Your friends will make fun of you who skydive. So the whole point of this is there's no pressure.
Yeah.
Right? Everything's internal. Everything's a decision you have to make. As you're standing at the edge of this, it's simply one step that's going to change the outcome of your life. It's going to change the outcome of skydiving. So are you ready? And I literally, just, like I do with everything, I say, I don't know if you can swear on here or not, so I'll keep it clean, but I say, F it, let's go. You sure? Like, let's go. And I take one step, and the next thing you know, I'm staring at the airplane, continuing going, and I'm free falling in the sky. So all that to say, how do I approach things? I approach things with ultimate intentionality and with the mindset of this will get done. This will be done. And if I find myself making excuses, you kind of throw that noise away. and you look for solutions, because at the end of the day, what you think is what will happen. If you want a solution, you will find one. If you want an excuse, you will find one. So what do you truly want? If you truly want it, you're going to find a way.
Love that, man. Love that.
You know, we face fears all the time, right? We face fears, you know, and people that are, you know, really trying to start in their willingness to want to go, or unwillingness to want to go and to work out or go to the gym or get started somewhere in life when it comes to fitness, when it comes to health, right? We put these things in our mind, just like you were talking about in parachuting, the drive there, right? And then the fear of just being there and knowing I'm next. That door open, I'm next, right? And what am I going to do? And pushing, you know, past that. What are some of the things that you, besides, you know, the parachuting, but just in your life, when it comes to wellness, what are some things, that obstacles that have stood in your way that you took that next step to help you in overcoming?
I mean, it depends on what avenue we're talking about. You know, the gym is always daunting. Even to me, I've been probably strength training for over 15 years. Going to a new gym, there's always what are people going to think? What is this gym culture like? Are they looking at me? Are they staring at me? Like, I want people to know, like, your first day at the gym, or the person who's been there for 20 years, like, these are all thoughts that occur in our minds. We just learn to listen to them and go, that's silly. Everyone's here to train, to work out, to better themselves. They're not worried about me. So what was the question again? Sorry.
That's all right. No, so people face fears all the time, right?
Yeah.
So in your own life, not parachuting, but just in your own life, like those obstacles that stood in your way, what was it that motivated you to take that next step to help you to overcome? Whether it's in a gym or whether it's jujitsu or whatever it is in life, what really helped you, encourage you to take that next step? And maybe it was the fear of going to a new gym. What helped you? What encouraged you?
The thing that helps me the most, I try to be internally driven, because external factors will fade. And that's where discipline comes in. The thing that gets me through things is my word. My word is my bond. I won't break it for anyone. So if I say I'm going to do something, like, the last person, I don't want to lie to anyone, but the last person I want to lie to or disappoint is myself. So I will make a conscious decision. Let's say I want to lose weight. I want to drop 15 pounds. I will lose 15 pounds. I won't break that bond with myself. Now, how do I lose 15 pounds? I have to go to the gym and I have to start eating healthy. I will do this. Well, now I've made a promise to myself, and I don't want to break it. With, you know, a big hurdle was joining the SWAT team. I had 2 previous attempts, which I failed. Passed the fitness portion, which I was the most concerned about, and then failed the shooting portion, which I was a firearms instructor at the time. How did that happen? But I'm going into my 3rd attempt, and I tear my knee in jiu-jitsu. So I tear my meniscus. I have surgery. I'm rehabbing it. And now the SWAT tryouts are coming up, and my PT's going, we haven't even started running protocol. You can't try out. And I looked at him and I said, that's not, I promised myself, I'm like, this is happening.
Yeah.
Like, I have to do it. And he looks at me, he goes, I can't tell you can do it. And I look at him and I'm like, is that code for you don't want liability? Because, like, if that's what you're saying, I'm cool with that. Like, I won't blame anyone. And he just looks at me like, dude, you're nuts. And I'm like, nah, I made a word to I gave myself my word. So
sure.
Unbeknownst to him, I go and I try out, and I'm with 2 of my buddies. So the way it works here in the region, it's you try out within your department. If you pass, then you go to the regional tryouts, and you have to try out then. So I'm with 2 of my buddies trying out. Our department has 3 seats at this time. There's 3 of us trying out. So if we all make it, we can all keep going. And there's two portions to this fitness test. After the first portion, I can't feel my leg. It's completely numb. And I'm having these, we'll call them coward thoughts to keep it PG. So these coward thoughts, I'm like, I can't, there's no way I can do the second portion. Like, I can't feel my leg. It's numb. My knee is like killing me. There's no way I can do this. And it's good to have good people around you, because when like people think relentless is that I'm gonna smash through. Like that's not what relentless is. There are times where these thoughts creep in our minds. Like, am I good enough to do this? Am I fit enough to do this? I don't have. There's no way I can keep going. Like we tell ourselves these lies, and we sometimes believe them. At this point, I'm telling myself lies. I don't know how I can get through this. I'm not going to be able to make it. My buddy comes over and he's like, bro, like, get up, let's go. It's time to start the second portion. And I look at him, I'm like, there's no way. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, there's no way. And he kind of, gives me a speech that's probably not good for this platform, but he's like, dude, you're going to hate yourself if you don't even try. Like, try and fail, then not try at all, because you're always going to wonder, like, what if I could have?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I'm like, you know what? You're right. I'll go until my leg falls off. Do the second portion, pass. And he's like, see, and you were concerned over nothing. At this point, I can't even stand, but I passed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later is the regional tryouts. And now I'm like, no, I did it 2 weeks ago. I've rehabbed. I've trained since then. Like, I'm going to be able to do it now.
Yeah.
And I passed. So my biggest motivation is keeping a word to yourself. Like, if you make a promise to yourself, keep it, because if you break the word to yourself, you're going to lie to anyone. You're going to break your bond to anyone.
Right.
Like, if you don't respect yourself enough to keep your word, what value is it to anyone else? To your bosses, to your wife, to your husband, to your children, to your coworkers. Keeping that bond to yourself starts to build something within you that you tend to honor your word to everyone,
mm-hmm.
because you will not break it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right.
That's powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome, man. Awesome. Ish, a lot of people always say they want to improve themselves, whether it be in finance, business, networking, fitness, losing weight, but they use time as a constraint on themselves. They always say they don't have the time to do it, or they don't have the time to create this, or the time to get in the gym. What would you say to those people who use time as an excuse or a constraint?
You're lying to yourself. I'll say you're lying to yourself. I always say everyone has the same 24 hours. Elon Musk, me, you, the listeners, we all have a 24-hour bank that we get to. Time is one of the only resources we never get to renew, right? You spend money, you can make it back. Your network, you can use your network, or you can give to your network. Time will be spent, whether you want to spend it or not. You don't sit on your couch and pause time. When you sit on your couch, you're using time. You're wasting time.
Yeah.
So you're lying to yourself, right? And I'm nothing great. I'll be the first to admit I am nothing great. If I can juggle a family, real estate, full-time law enforcement career, SWAT operations, media, podcast, intentional, networking, traveling. I'm part owner in multiple businesses. I just teamed up with Seminar Stack, which is a great organization offering training to law enforcement and first responders. Like, if I can do all this, you can make time for the gym. Oh, also gym, jiu-jitsu. Like, if I can do all that, and I'm nothing great, if I can do all this, there's no excuse. It's all about priority,
mm-hmm.
right? Prioritizing. If you want to get healthy, if you want to get fit, make it a priority. The same way you make going to work a priority. We don't have to go to work. We have convinced ourselves we do because we have bills to pay, but we don't have to. If you don't go to work, your bills don't get paid. So what? Your bills don't get paid, you get sent to collections. So what? I'm not saying this is the way to go, but I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, you're still alive. You're still
Right.
breathing. You can. There's other options you can do. How many people live their days without any responsibility? Doesn't amount to anything, but like, people do it. You don't have to go to work. You've made it a priority. So you go to work every day. You're not late. You show up on time. You pay your bills on time. If you can make that a priority, you can make the gym a priority.
Yeah.
Like, are you sleeping until 8 and you start work at 9? Right. How about you wake up at 6, go to the gym at 7, so then you're home and ready by 8, which is the time you wake up anyway.
Right.
Right? Like, make it a priority.
Yeah.
Small, that the principle of the next mile, small steps. Like you go to the gym 0 times a week, go 2 times this week.
Yep.
See how that feels. Do that for 2 weeks in a row. Then 3 times a week. Then it's like, oh, let me start eating a little healthy. That's not saying get crazy about it, but just watch the calories you're intaking. Just, studies show just by being mindful of what you eat, you will start to eat healthier. Not changing your habits, not just looking at how many calories I'm taking in and going, man, that's 300 calories. This same option over here is 200. Let me take this one.
Yep.
Something as simple as that behavior builds up. So I would say stop lying to yourself. If you want to make something happen, you will. If you don't, you won't.
Yeah. Totally agree.
True. Yeah. Totally. So you have spent so much time training in jiu-jitsu. You have, hours and hours and hours that probably have accumulated to, months, years, I don't know, but you have spent all this time in training. Take us to the time that was the most rewarding for all of the hard work that you have accomplished. Take us to that moment. And how did you feel in that accomplishment?
I think the most rewarding from especially jiu-jitsu would be being able to apply it at work. Obviously in law enforcement, you never want to hurt anyone and you never want anyone to get hurt. There was a call, someone going through a mental health episode. The family screaming, "Don't hurt him! Don't hurt him!" Everyone's watching you, and just being able to comfortably, and I say comfortably because that's the biggest thing when you're dealing with especially people in law enforcement. Oftentimes we see these egregious videos and these horrific videos, and not to take away from the experiences, but oftentimes it boils down to an officer was in fear. Is it justified? Is it not justified? Is it warranted? Is it not warranted? At the end of the day, the officer was in fear, so they escalated their use of force because they were scared. However that plays out. So if you are equipped to better manage your fear, you're coming in comfortable, you're coming in prepared, you're less likely to escalate that use of force. And in this moment, it was me and a partner of mine who also trains, and we do a lot of defensive tactics at work too, right? Because training yourself and then training with a partner to understand each other's communication, their cues and stuff. So we kind of give each other the look of, I'm going to go up, you go down, and we're able to subdue this guy. We get him help and all that stuff. And we go back, and some people at the department are like, wow, like we just watched a body cam on that. Like, how did you guys do this? That's crazy. And in our minds, we're like, we just came in and, a couple control techniques and, nothing to it. From that moment on, our chief actually developed we need to make defensive tactics mandatory in our department. We're going to train quarterly. We're going to make this a priority. Like, that was the light bulb moment for me. Like, wow, because I decided to do this. I exhibited a good example. It worked out. I have a passion for this. And now, I get to help others in my department be a part of this process. That is the biggest part for me. I love instructing. I love training because I love learning. So I love being a part of that process and seeing the light bulb go off for someone else. It's leading me to a story. So one of my captains, we're training one of our captains in the shoulder pin, which is a very simple technique. So we do this class, we teach the shoulder pin. 2 weeks later, I'm coming into work. He's like, "You won't believe what happened. I used the shoulder pin. It worked." And I'm like, "What?" And if you look at this guy, no disrespect to him, love the guy, but he's what people would call a nerd, right? He's a he does, and I love the guy. He's smartest dude I've ever met. Human calculator, just his brain works in ways I could never. He's forgotten more things than I'll ever know. So for him to say he got hands-on with someone and he was excited about it, because you wouldn't think someone like that be excited about, altercations, physical altercations, that being the captain. He's not supposed to be getting hands-on. So to see him so excited, we showed him a technique. We drilled it for about 4 hours, and he was able to utilize it and apply it effectively. Seeing his excitement, all that was worth it. Every time I got submitted in the gym, every time I tapped out, every time I got choked out, every time I didn't want to go, every time I went when my body hurt, all of it was worth it. Biggest light bulb moment right there.
Yeah. I love that. And it just takes me to, to the Point Park next month. And I want to get on film you doing a shoulder pin on Dan.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Okay. We're going to get this. Not only going to get you running, but we're going to get a shoulder pin of Dan in the park, in the grass, in front of our table. I just want to
It's not painful, Dan. Don't worry. Just a little top pressure, but
I'm thinking those videos where the guy runs on the field and you see all the security guards just level.
Funny story
we can do that
about
too.
that.
If that's not the shoulder pin, we'll do that one too on you, Dan.
That one too. Yeah, that one,
tackles, open field tackles.
Yeah.
We're at last November. We're at a seminar stack event, and we're downstairs at the bar. It's at a casino. We're downstairs at the bar after everything, and we're like going over like the techniques and stuff. And like it's me and one of the other instructors, and we're like choking each other at the bar and stuff. And like security comes and they're like, "Hey, is everything?" And we're like, "What?" And like we're confused. And then the security guy knew we were a part of this organization. He's like, No. The other guy's like, no, they're fine. They know what they're doing. They're with seminar stack upstairs. And like the other guy's like, oh, I thought you guys were like fighting and like choking each other. And I'm like, oh, we were, but like we're having fun. We're not mad at each other or anything. So like then we start teaching the security guy a couple of these principles and stuff. I mean, you could use this like someone gets unruly at the table. Like these are some, So it's just funny because like if you're in jiu-jitsu, like you'll these are the guys and girls at the barbecue or at the family event or at the party on the ground rolling or at the beach and like they're choking each other and stuff and everyone's like, what's going on? And they're just having fun.
That's it.
It's like talking shop, just with your arms around each other's necks and stuff.
That's all we're going to be doing, Dan. We're just going to be talking shop on that Saturday. Yeah, that's it.
He says we, but he means you.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be doing the talking.
Yeah, exactly.
The shop work is on Dan.
I'll be in the headlock talking.
Use me.
That's so fun. Ish, we'll probably close it out with this one, but we always have a saying or a quote that we end every single Dual Coast podcast with. We like to ask our guests, and that quote or that saying is, "Wellness is not about perfection; it's about progress." What would you say that quote means to you?
That quote means being relentless in your pursuit. If you remain relentless in your pursuit, you're bound to find success. Success being whatever that goal is. It goes back to that principle, baby steps. Like a goal is daunting in and of its nature, or you would never strive for it. Like it's something you strive to reach for, whether it's health, whether it's fitness, whether it's getting bigger muscles, whether it's getting better at jiu-jitsu, whatever it is, getting your black belt, it's daunting. So back plan. Break it down into steps that you can digest to the point you break it down so far that you can start right now, right? Something as simple as I want to be able to hold my grandkids or be able to walk up a flight of stairs without being out of breath. Mm-hmm. What can I do today? Today, I won't take the escalator. I'll take the stairs. Today, I'll park further away from the grocery store and do that extra walk. Today, I'll do a lap around my neighborhood, just one. Today, I'll make the decision to get better at whatever it is you do. If you look at it as like, I want to run a marathon, you will sit there all day in your head and you will hype yourself out of doing it. 26 miles is a long time. I've never run. That's far. My body hurts. I have inflammation. I have this. I don't have the right running shoes. I don't have the money to get into. I looked online. Takes a lot of money to run a marathon. You have to have the right suit. You have to have the right socks, the right shoe. You will talk yourself out of doing it. Mm-hmm. But if you just go, what do I have today that I can start doing this? I have shoes. Thank God I have shoes. I have clothes. Thank God I have clothes. I have outside. Awesome. Do a lap. Next week, do 2 laps. Mm-hmm. Build yourself up. Next thing you know, you're going to be running 5 miles, 10 miles a day. And you're going to be like, how did I even get here? Well, you got here because you broke it down into steps you can start now.
Yeah.
Don't hype yourself out of whatever your goal is. An idea, a goal that you think about is just an idea, right? Put action. Action kills fear. Action, like inaction fuels fear. Action kills fear. As long as you're taking baby steps towards whatever your goal is, you will find success, or you will learn another way to do it better.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, action will get you to where you want to be. Inaction will fuel fear, which then fuels you never getting your goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very well said. You know, I'm just amazed at everybody's response to that statement or that question, you know, and it amazes me what people come up with and how they live their life, you know, and Ish, I so appreciate your words on that. You know, I love the inaction part and the creating the fear and everything. It's just like, it's so true, because those kinds of things keep people in sedentary positions throughout life.
Yep.
Right?
It keeps you in paralysis.
Yeah.
Keeps you in paralysis. If you think, here's the thing, I'll end it with this. People are so scared to start because they're not good enough. They're not great enough. They don't have the right things. It stopped me from starting my podcast before I started it. It stopped me from getting fit before I started it. Like, we will psych ourselves out because we're not good enough to start. But to be great, you can't be great if you don't start. Mm-hmm. You have to start if you want to be great. Right? And successful people, we look at these successful entrepreneurs, these athletes, they have failed 1,000 times before most people ever even made the decision to get started.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So fail fast, fail often, learn from those failures, and then use that and apply it so you can find your success, whatever field that is: health, fitness, business, relationships. I never look at failure as a loss. I always look at it as lessons, and framing your mindset into that, you will never lose again. You'll never lose again. If you look for the lessons and failures and losses, if you look for the lessons and apply it to the next thing you do, you will never lose again.
Yeah.
So true.
Amazing, man.
Wow. Words of wisdom by Ish.
Totally agree.
Seriously.
That's
good stuff, man. Yeah. I love it.
Ish, where can people find you?
Instagram, YouTube. So my personal page is the Ish Lopez on Instagram. YouTube, follow the Relentless Project. We talk about similar things, and I appreciate you guys having me on, because you can never have enough podcasts talking about stuff like this, right? Like, we all, as hosts, you guys have different experiences that you bring in, and my whole goal is to talk to everybody, learn from everybody, and share it with the world. So I appreciate you guys having me on. It's Relentless PRJCT on Instagram, YouTube, X, therelentlessproject.com. You know, if you follow that, in a month you'll be able to listen to Dan and Russell's episode, because they'll be on. So a little self-plug, but also promotion. Yeah, I'd appreciate if you guys give it a follow. It's just interviewing every day, quote unquote, because I don't think everyone has a story to tell. So just interviewing people and their stories and their encounters with relentlessness, how they got through hardships, and how they found success in different industries.
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
I'm so glad we connected.
Yeah.
So glad Big Dan, not Little Dan, but Big Dan introduced us together, and and we got connected, and to have this time together on Dual Coast it's very meaningful, and words are powerful. I love your stories, and I love just, you know, how you simply bring things across, but yet in such a powerful way. And so your words mean a lot, and the way that you live is even more powerful.
Yeah,
I appreciate that, because English is my second language, so I always trip up on words. So I'm always self-conscious about it. So I do appreciate that.
You're well spoken. You are well spoken. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
This is an awesome podcast. Ish, thank you so much for being on today. We really appreciate it. Guys, please check out the Ish Lopez on Instagram. Check out the Relentless Project. Me and Russ are going to be on in a couple of weeks. You guys check that episode out. Ish, thank you so much again for being with us. Please.
Bicycle Heaven.
Bicycle Heaven.
That's a quick plug for Bicycle Heaven. Shout out Bicycle Heaven simultaneously. Please check out Dual Coast Podcast on all social media handles. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
Appreciate you guys for having me.
Thanks,
Thank you so much, man.